Aloha! Welcome to Discoflowers, my school of math and music for kids and families. My name is Kamaka, and it's great to have you back for another lesson in life's mysteries. Every creature that exists in creation demonstrates and lives the proportions of geometry. The same proportions that exist in music. So in reality, our bodies are living, breathing sound systems. Sound can mean either things that we hear in our ears, but the word sound also means healthy, to be perfectly healthy, to be vibrant. A lot of great teachers say that our body is an orchestra. So if one body part gets sick and plays out of tune, the entire orchestra just falls apart. One of my favorite teachers that I first remember using this analogy is Jonathan Goldman of HealingSounds.com. We're not affiliated and I don't work for him, but I just wanted to share with you that he was one of my very favorite and influential teachers about how we can use sound to heal or to harm. Everything that exists has a vibration, a song, or a dance. To sing and dance and vibrate is to be alive. Even thinking can be measured, and thoughts are considered vibration, frequencies. Some people call this energy, ether, mana, prana, chi, or light body. This is why some religions say our body is our temple, and we must take really, really good care of our body to be the best human shining stars we can be. One of the most important shapes to learn is what I call the cosmic donut. It's probably been called this before, I'm not sure, but it is literally a donut. There are lots of different terms or words to describe this shape in math, science, and also in spirituality. Let's look at this cosmic donut now. This picture is from a company called HeartMath. They are really amazing. You should look it up. This picture is so cool. So as you can see, this donut is our energy field. Some people call this our aura. In order to realize our star potential, we must balance both sides of the brain and achieve symmetry in creativity, intuition, logic, and intellect. Now, I wrote this script before I started to study Hyperianism, and I should add to that not just logic and intellect, but logic, intellect, and reason. Music is one of the few activities to fully activate the brain. Consciousness is not something easily measured, but meditative states can be achieved using frequency, and subsequently, the brainwaves measured fairly easily. Immersive activities that use different parts of the brain, which are music theory, drawing geometry and mandalas, playing music, dancing, singing, chanting, and praying, have all demonstrated to lower brainwaves to more relaxed and creative theta and delta states. When both sides of the brain and the heart are in coherence, we create a scalar wave. So if these words intimidate you or you don't know what these words mean, don't worry about it. It just means that when we're using all of our brain and our heart, we're thinking clearly, we're creative, everything's working together, we become the whole shining stars that we're meant to be. Okay, so as you can see, this cosmic donut shape is found all over nature. we can see the donut in the shape of an apple, which is funny because the apple is a symbol used in religion. And you can clearly see this donut in the shape of the Earth's magnetic sphere. And one of the most popular images that we see this donut is in a black hole, a self-perpetuating yin-yang, the dielectric. I know, that's a grown-up word. Other words for this are scalar wave, tube torus, toroidal field, Tesla wave, etheric wave, and dielectric field. Scalar physics was developed by Maxwell and later Nikola Tesla, the greatest inventor since Leonardo da Vinci. No, Tesla is not a car. Tesla is a human who basically, because of Tesla, all electronic inventions work properly because of him. He's probably the most important person to ever live after Pythagoras. Nikola Tesla taught that all energy comes from the ether. Some people call this the fourth dimension of thought and energy, the source. A scalar wave is the interface between energy and matter, or the manifestation of the Fourier transform, the interface between thought and reality, the frequency domain to the space-time domain. If that sounds confusing, don't worry. A scalar wave is like literally a thought bubble. One of the easiest scientific ways to measure vibrations in our body is by monitoring our brain waves. This used to be really complicated and could only be done at a hospital. Thanks to technology, you can buy a small machine that measures your brainwaves and use it in virtual reality games. So for me, it was really cool growing up as a kid a long time ago because my aunt was an electroencephalograph technician. So many decades ago, this was the only way you could measure your brainwaves. And what they would do is they would stick these little wires all over your head called electrodes with like this really weird glue, and then you had to just lay there and you couldn't move because you didn't want to knock the little electrodes off. But yeah, now they have these little cool machines that you just stick on your head, like when you play a VR game. So technology's pretty cool. Okay, so brainwaves are like music. Faster, higher brainwaves are like really high-pitched sounds. Like, you know, a flute is a higher sound than a tuba. So we're gonna start with the higher, faster brainwaves. Okay, so we have gamma. Gamma is 25 to 100 hertz. Gamma is when you are like hyper focused. Like imagine when you're doing something that you're amazing at and you don't even think about it. It's like something takes over and you just do it. Professional and competitive athletes call this the zone, or like when you're in the flow. Okay, this is a really high state of awareness, and we're not always in this state all the time. This is like when you're fully concentrating on something that you love so much that the rest of the world just melts away. Okay, so then we have beta. Beta is 14 to 40 hertz. Beta is when you are either really alert, or the negative side of that is like when you're really, really stressed out. So there's like a positive and a negative side to beta. Okay, Next we have alpha, which is 8 to 13 hertz. And don't worry, in other videos I'm going to explain to you what a hertz means. Just if you don't know what that means for now, it's okay. So alpha also has a positive and negative side. The positive side to alpha state means that you are totally relaxed. You are chilled out. You are full of aloha and chill. However, the negative side of alpha is like when you're in a trance. You're just like a vegetable, like a zombie. Okay, this happens a lot when we watch too much TV, when you're just like tranced out. So you don't want to be in that state all the time. Okay, now just remember these words like alpha and beta mean other things in other areas of study. So like in psychology, an alpha means that you are like the apex, like you're like the leader, you're like the king. That's what alpha means in psychology. But we're talking about brainwaves, that's different. Okay, so next we have theta, which is 4 to 7 hertz. The positive side of theta is either like really deep meditation, or it's like you're sleeping, you're dreaming. So it can be both. It can either be like, you know, really deep meditation while you're awake, or you're actually asleep. Then the lowest brainwave is called delta. Now, delta is either very deep sleep or very deep meditation. In order for our bodies to biochemically repair itself, you must enter delta state when you sleep. This is the state of sleep that's so deep, you're not dreaming anymore. You're not in REM state. Like, you're out. Your battery is on recharge. Now, the negative side of delta state, though, is like someone who's in a coma. Like, they're barely alive. Like, their body is alive, but they're not awake. They're not thinking. They're not engaging with life. So that's the negative side of delta state. Now, generally speaking, delta is only reached when you're fast asleep. So people that don't sleep enough, they age so fast. You can tell. When someone isn't sleeping enough, they don't look good. They look tired. They look sick. That's because we need to sleep. This is why some species will hibernate and rest all winter long. For months, they shut off. They shut down when it starts snowing. This is so the body can repair itself. So sleep is very, very important. It's especially when you're young, sleep is like one of the most important things that you can do. So also, if you're a parent and your kid just will not get out of bed, you know, just please reconsider this. Talk to a doctor or a psychotherapist. Talk to them about sleeping because, you know, so for many years I was a professional contemporary ballet dancer, and I didn't sleep 8 hours. I slept 10 to 12 hours hard, out like a light, for years. Then in my late 20s, I was still a professional contemporary ballet dancer, but then at that point in my life, I only needed, as long as everything in else of my body was healthy, I only needed 6.5 hours, exactly 6.5 hours. But when you're younger and you're tired, at just any age, when you're sick, when you're depressed, when you're trying to handle stress, whatever the situation is in your life, sometimes you need more sleep. Now, for those of you that are more advanced, the target frequency for delta and body rejuvenation is 2 hertz. This is also the same as 120 beats per minute, or 2 cycles per second, 2 hertz. So we'll get into this in other lessons, and if that's too advanced for you, don't worry. My goal of these videos is to make it for the entire family so that everyone of all ages can learn something. Thanks for watching, and I hope wherever you are, whatever time it is for you, whether it's day or night, I hope that you have a very blessed day. Aloha. I love you.